with a fifth floor view of the edge of the city, and the breeze and the sunshine keeping me company. I'm working split shifts every day. I'm trying to save some money so I can buy all the wonderful things I need.
Alex, 29 years old. He was a tree planter in BC for the last 8 years and traveled the world. Went to Sweden. He has his citizenship in Sweden, or landed immigrant. Spent some time in Spain, continental Europe, Mexico, all Central America, northern part of South America. Tree planted in the spring, traveled in the off season. And that was kind of the way he worked.
Alex was very kind. I almost feel like he was the best of all of us. Pretty easygoing, pretty happy. Loved to play music, loved to meet new people, talk to new people. Had a real thirst for life. And I think all of us, or at least I, was a little envious of that, his freedom. And the way he sort of traveled around and just sort of did whatever he wanted to do. It was really...
I admired him.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah,
I did
he
too.
did everything I wanted to do. If I didn't have my family, my kids and my husband, which I love, I would want to do what he was doing. Travel, work, abroad, do whatever he wanted.
He was so cool. Like people just,
Yeah.
He was like a magnet. People were attracted to him.
I was a promising young man, so I was told. Now I make the minimum wage, and I'm getting old.
The last couple of years when he was tree planting, he became part of the management team and became aware that there's lots of opportunity to have it brought into a more modern theme with all the paperwork that has to be done, and educated himself and made an app for tree planters so that all the information could be done remotely and go back to headquarters, and it just reduced the paperwork tremendously. So that inspired him to become a programmer. He went back to school, got his programming ticket, and spent the last 8 months, I guess, with a couple of clients. And he'd travel. He spent some time here, working remotely at the table. He went to Hawaii.
He was home here in October for the month, and then he went to a retreat in Barrie for a week, and then he went to Montreal for a week, and then he went to Hawaii for 2 weeks to a retreat with Ram Dass. And from Hawaii, he went to Mexico.
Spent Christmas there?
Spent Christmas there, and a couple of his friends flew in, and they went surfing and just had a good time. That's what he liked to do. And then he had a meeting that he had to attend for Brinkman and Associates.
That's the tree planter.
That's Dirk Brinkman is the owner, and he had a board meeting to present the
final version of the app.
The final version of the app that he had written for them. And he flew in on the 26th of January. He was never moving back to Vancouver. He had given up his apartment and had stored everything. He'd made his mind up that Vancouver was not a good place for him. So he flew into Vancouver on the 26th.
Had a meeting with Brinkman, and he and Eric worked together doing the fine-tuning, polishing it for the presentation. And I guess he left Eric's house Saturday night and went home to a friend's place, got up early Sunday morning, and took his computer with him, went down to a coffee shop, and it would appear that he just went down to do the final work on the app. And that's where it happened. Coffee shop, went into the bathroom, fell, and finally one of the attendants knocked on the door and no answer, but they knew somebody was in there. and they called the ambulance, took him out, took him to the hospital, and catastrophic brain hemorrhage or damage, and coma for 4 days, and then gone.
No, coma from Sunday to Sunday.
Sunday to Sunday.
Yeah. So they didn't have his jacket or his wallet or anything, so they had his bank card. That's all they had to determine who he was. And the police there and the hospital were phoning us, but we were in Portugal, so we had a Portugal number. We didn't have our cell phone number here. So on Tuesday, around 4:30 or 5, I guess, the police showed up here, and Chrissy lives here, our daughter and our two granddaughters, and that's how we found out. So Chrissy and Leslie phoned us in Portugal, and
we wrapped things up there and hopped on a plane and went to Vancouver.
But the girls went to Vancouver on the Wednesday, right? Yeah. You both went out on Wednesday, and so they were there. We didn't get there until Friday. It was just couldn't get there. So, but I think what's important to note is that Alex was a recreational drug user, and so you don't have to be an addict for this to happen to you. Like
Since this whole episode, it's amazing the number of people you meet that have gone through similar situations. And invariably, people get sideswiped. They have no idea. It's everywhere, it seems to be. And it's so strong. There's no control. It's just
As my dreams slowly fade into the blue sky, like the smoke coming up from out of a tailpipe.
He was leaving on the Thursday to go to Thailand, and he was going to live down there because he could live cheaply, which he liked to travel, and he liked to stay in different places. And there's a little community down in Thailand somewhere where all your computer
programmers, that's what they do.
They go down there and they program, and and you can live inexpensively. And he had gotten himself 2 good contracts, and he was in the process of another contract, so he would have enough to, live the life that he wanted to live. So he had just gotten it all together, and
the outpouring that of support and emotional support, all kinds of support from the Brinkmans, from his friends in Vancouver, it's just been overwhelming. We had the afterglow 2 days after he passed, and there was over 100 people, and everybody had amazing things to say.
It was the day after he passed. It was the Monday.
Yeah. Big snowstorm, and still over 100 people.
I remind myself every day it's gonna be alright. If I always get to work on time, I'll be living the good life.
I think that if he could speak today, I think that he would want to share that message. He wouldn't want anybody else to lose out on life or to miss out on that opportunity, because life really is an opportunity. And I think that he would really want to push the message that the drug is not worth it. No matter what you're doing, find something that that isn't life-threatening to experience the high. Maybe you skydive, maybe you life-threatening in a different kind of way, I suppose. But maybe you find things that give you joy, that aren't going to leave people feeling this way, and are still going to allow you the opportunity to live and grow and share with other people. I think that he would want that. I don't think that he would never want anybody to miss out on an opportunity, and
No.
that's how he viewed life.
Well, what I would say to any child or young adult is you need to know, if you're going to be doing things like this, you need to know what you're taking, because this drug is so dangerous. And it just takes your life away over 2 seconds and you're done. So.
And what makes it even worse is that it's so strong. It's my understanding, 4 crystals the size of salt crystals is enough to kill you. You know, you can bring in, I think it's 30 grams in an envelope, and that's enough to kill 14,000 people. And as I understand that, you can bring it in legally. And if it gets confiscated, they'll replace it, no charge. This is from China. And it being so strong, it can't be properly distributed or controlled or modified by street chemists. They don't have the experience or the equipment to say, yes, this is strong, this is not strong. They have no idea. So even if this buddy has a pill that's not very strong, this buddy over here from the same batch could be enough to kill him. So you just don't know. So I guess the bottom line is...
Don't do drugs.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. Just don't do it.
I sing a sad